So welcome back to another episode of Cullen on Film, and I'm here with cast and crew of Under the Influence, a film that will be playing at the Brightside Tavern Film Festival. Jim, I haven't seen you in a long time. We go back way back.
I know.
I think first year or second year of Hang On to Your Shorts.
Oh yeah, it was first year of Hang On to Your Shorts, and then first or second Brightside.
Yeah,
I forget if it was the first or like the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, and from that film way back in there, your little actress is like an adult now.
I know. Yeah, Dixie. Yeah, she was. So my first film that I submitted to Hang On to Your Shorts, and The Bright Side was my college thesis film. Way back in 2012, and my lead actress was 12, and she won Best Actress at both festivals, I believe. Yeah, both festivals, and then like several other festivals. And now it's almost 9 years ago, and she's college and going. Yeah, it's weird. And I was like, "Oh, little Dixie," and she's like, "Oh, she is
like legal to drink now. She's like legal to drink a beer with us."
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, and then after that, it was a couple years later. M&I submitted Capital Advice to both festivals.
Yeah,
Hang On to Your Shorts, and won a couple awards for those as well. It's very exciting. And now we're here, number 3, and we brought on a third person, Tara.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Tara, how was it working with these two?
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, I've known them for years. I was really lucky to work on Capital Advice with them in a very small capacity. I did some voiceover work, and I was also the costume designer. But that's what really inspired me to start writing. I watched Em do it, and I was like, hey, this could be fun to do too. Em and I actually collaborated on a project right after Capital Advice. We started writing together, and that really sort of paved the way for me to start creating my own work. And I'm really grateful to the two of them. I'm so glad that Capital Advice inspired them to start their own production company, Birdie & Co. Studios, because it's allowed artists, not just myself, who sort of don't know where to start and want to create their own work, to have that outlet. And they're really wonderful. They know what they're doing. They're awesome. So it's been a wonderful experience.
Did you guys film this before the COVID hit? Where is it?
Oh, yes, we did.
Got it
we filmed it in October of 2019, and then we had a premiere set in March 2020. And
March 22nd.
It was March 22nd, which was the Friday after and they shut down everything on that Monday.
Like the 14th or 15th, everything, right?
Yep. Oh my gosh. We had a venue set up in New York too.
And it was so funny because we were like, I think we should cancel. And my friend Dominic runs this big space. And he was like, well, if you think we should. I was like, I don't think we should. I think the planet thinks we should.
I just remember we had the Bright Side it was leap year, February 29th. And it was packed, and it was all overseas and all like starting to come here. And everyone's like, what do we do?
Yeah. It was just total uncharted territory. Yeah. No one knew what to do.
We were like, how many people got sick at the Bright Side that time? Probably half the people had it. Who knows? Nobody knows.
Yeah, but no one knew. I mean, nobody knew how serious to take it. And then all of a sudden it was just full speed ahead. So it's been a year and a half of waiting. It's hard to believe that like this time 2 years ago, we were in pre-production. Like we were starting to set everything up, and that we're just sort of now arriving here. But I wouldn't have had it any other way. I think that I don't know if you can speak to the virtual experience of having a festival go from, being in person and having that face-to-face to trying to develop that, over Zoom or just, virtually. But we thought it was really important to, build those connections and see people and, connect in person. And so the waiting will hopefully pay off.
So it came really good. And then all of a sudden I just stopped doing this for a little bit because of school and craziness. And but now we're back, and we're still doing this, but we're also doing it in the studio and online, so we can talk to everybody here.
I think that was one good thing that happened with the pandemic was, a silver lining of this very dark cloud of just like everyone was kind of forced to like do remote and like figure out how to do things. And now that we've learned that a lot of stuff like podcasting or even just work in general can be done remotely like this, I think it opens up the opportunity to have those things. So like you were saying, like you have the in-studio open, but now people are capable of streaming. So like it does kind of, I feel like moving forward, give her greater access to more content, more interview with people, more work and stuff. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, originally we did this for the festivals because of COVID and because of online fest. What I was saying was we started this I interviewed everyone for the Hang On to Your Shorts like 2 years ago online. And I just kept going and going, and it worked out so well. And then we're like, why don't we just keep doing it and keep doing it? And we did it for Brightside, and they're like, oh, it's great. Everyone loved it. So, because, there are people maybe out in LA who can't make it. So now I get to talk to them. So during all COVID, I said, I talked to every filmmaker and every actor, and no one else did. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you waited on this. You didn't put it in. That's what I was getting to before. You didn't put it in the festivals that were online.
We didn't, because all of COVID was such uncharted territory. We had no idea what was going to happen. We didn't know how long it was going to last. So we were just sort of like, let's hold off. We did end up premiering in October of 2020. We rented another venue run by my friend Dominic, who was originally going to host our event. And we just had like very limited cast and crew. It was an outdoor space. And then everything else was streamed virtually, thanks to Jim and Em, because they worked tirelessly to make sure that anybody from their couch could watch it. And we had a whole set of eyes on it. It was amazing. And we made cocktails. Like Em put her bartender brain to work, and she made like custom cocktail recipes for people to make at home. It was really cool. So we ended up being able to premiere it there. And then from that point, we decided to start submitting to festivals because we knew the vaccine was coming out. We knew that at least within the next 6 to 12 months, people would probably start, getting back on the in-person train. And luckily, we were right, because that has started up again, which is huge. And we attended one drive-in festival. There was a festival down in Florida that we were not able to attend, just circumstantial. And then everything else has been pretty much looking down the pike. It's going to be in person.
Yeah, we're doing it in person. We tried it, and the other one we had, we pushed back 2 of them, obviously.
Yeah.
We missed one. So we had one that was supposed to be August, didn't happen. We had it in May, and it was online and here, and people did show, and it was nice. It was quiet, but it was nice.
Yeah.
We were like, we did it all in one day here instead of the 2, and we're like, wow, like we can do this in August. We can do it. So we're ready to go. We're ready to go. And it's not as many films, so a little spread out. It'll be all right still.
Yeah. No, we're very excited for this one because obviously it's in Jersey City and most of us are in New York City. So we're already we're already trying to count heads, and we're all going to try to get as many people as we can to come down. This is going to be our first kind of real in-person festival. So we're very excited about it. So that we're trying to get as many people as we can to come.
Yeah.
So I know Jim and Em, you both have been at the festival before. Tara, did you go to the last one or?
I didn't. No, I was supposed to, and I couldn't go, and I was really bummed. But I remember it was a big event for Capital Advice. Like that was, I think, the very first one that everybody was like really going to, and I was so bummed I missed it. But I'm excited.
You guys had a good crew there, I think, right?
Very good crew. Yeah, my dad even came up from the Philly area to come because he was so excited.
Oh, that's right.
My dad was there, and like the most of the cast was there, and we had a really, really good time. It was like over both days we ended up having people there for both awards and for the screening. So it was definitely a good time.
Oh yeah, because it was I remember that was a pretty good one. There was a lot of people there.
I remember being really crowded.
People were drinking all day at the bar, and then the award show, they were like too drunk.
That sounds right.
I heard that story where people were sitting at the bar and didn't know they won, and then they came and they were too drunk to talk.
But that's why it's fun, because it's like you're at a bar, restaurant, and then you just go upstairs in the back room, watch some films, come back down, have some more drinks, and then awards, and then you just party. It's really, that's why I really like that festival a lot.
He's really selling this for me. I'm very excited.
And we don't have as many sets or films this time around, so it will be more partying, I guess.
There you go.
I'm ready.
Great. It's been too long, so I'm ready.
When you guys were putting this together, how was the casting process for it?
It was actually not that hard. I wrote a lot of these characters with specific people in mind, fully knowing that not all of them would be able to do it. The only casting blunder that we really had was we had cast someone in the role of Marcus, and he was a friend of mine from college. And maybe like 3 weeks to a month before our first film date, he was like, hey, I have this gig that I had planned before we started filming. It got canceled. They just rescheduled it same day. And it was for this coffee shop scene that is our third scene in the pilot. And it was an overnight. So it was going to be from like 8 o'clock at night to like 3 a.m. Yeah. And he was like, is there any way we can reschedule that? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't, we had really planned things out to a T. And so we did have to recast him, but it ended up working out because a dear friend of mine named Sharad was able to join our cast. And working on the show actually inspired him to write and produce his own series called Neighbors. And he just did that. So it ended up working out on a bunch of different levels. And we were just so happy to have him because I think that was his first, one of his first real on-screen experiences. And that sort of propelled him into realizing he wanted to do more of that, which is always amazing. And the rest of the casting process was pretty smooth sailing. We put a bunch of listings up on backstage.com, which I had never done before. So that was a really cool experience to do from a casting perspective rather than an acting perspective, because I had had so much experience doing it from the acting side that I sort of knew what to look for. And it was really educational for me because as an actor, I think that we always wonder, why didn't I get the part? Or, did they not like me? Was I not good? And honestly, it has nothing to do with that. It's just sort of about, someone's vision and what they see. And that was a really cool experience to have from the other side of the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jim, you've been casting all your films for years now and doing a really good job at that. How did you, was it experience did you have actors experience before, like way before your first film there, or you just kind of knew who you wanted for the roles all from the beginning to now? Like all your films are always well casted.
It was kind of, what's lucky is, I went to school in the city here, NYU, and what's so great about it is obviously there's so many actors that are willing to work and stuff. So I kind of just through the years, through those, I learned a lot of like either friends or through friends that are acting, or like the casting websites. Like I had to learn how to like Mandy, Backstage, all those. You have to all the postings, make sure everything is correct, and then holding auditions and reading all the lines. So just kind of like through the years of like holding auditions, people I've never met before, like the standard process. And then you just kind of build up like, contacts with them. Cause like I've worked with people in the past that I brought back, and then just kind of over the years. Yeah. So it's kind of building up to this moment. It's helpful being like, cause I think even when we got to this point on the influence, like they were like, where should we cast? I'm like, Mandy, this website, use this website, don't use this one, use this one. And then bam. And then, we casted who we filled out with friends, and then the rest of the roles we found out through casting websites. So,
did you do casting online at all, or I know things were closing down a lot? Well, this is before, so I guess
it was long before. We went through the casting process in September of 2019, and what was interesting is that we decided to just do everything online. So we had people submit, and we would weed through everybody who we felt just wasn't right for any of the roles they submitted based on their reels. And then we ended up giving them sides to put on tape. And we just sort of picked from there. We debated bringing people in for like chemistry reads, but we were like, you know what, we're just going to sort of trust the process. And for the most part, I'd say it worked out really, really well.
I know a lot of auditionings are online now, a lot of them, even with this going and gumming. But I like going to cast people in the city and sitting down there and having them come in. I like that. I always did.
Yeah.
No, I think it's important because you want to have that. You're going to be working face to face with them anyway, so it is good to have that face to face contact. And then, like, even if you're doing like a streaming, kind of like what we're doing, like audition, you don't really know, and also you kind of have to see. It's not just seeing are they a good actor or actress, it's are they good to just work with, will they take your direction when you're in person? Like, how's your chemistry? It's not just with the actors, it's with the director, the producer, like working with them. So I kind of want to go back to in-person casting.
Absolutely.
There's some things you just can't do virtually.
Yeah.
And reading someone's energy is not always something that you can do virtually. You can read their energy on screen. Luckily, if you're testing someone for screen and you're on screens, it like is pretty self-explanatory, but you do want to know how you can interact with them. And we got really, really lucky because we have such a great group and we've all remained friends, outside of the process. And we've been really, really blessed to have a group of actors who actually believe in the show, which, some people just sort of come in, they do their job, they leave. And that has not been the case here. Everybody is really passionate and believes in our project. And we go to brunch and we hang out and we're friends. And it's just, you don't get that. That's rare. It's not the case with every single production.
And how did you guys form your production company? How did that come about?
Well, it was kind of crazy. I wrote a pilot in 2015 Capital Advice, and I didn't know anything about TV or how anything worked in terms of production because I was coming from a more acting background. I was getting ready to go back to school because I had graduated from conservatory and was still feeling like I needed a little more to sort of figure out where I wanted to go. And I knew the only person that I knew that had any knowledge of filmmaking at all was Jim. And Jim and I worked together at Bubba Gum Shrimp Company. And the fast fact I knew about Jim was Jim went to school for film. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to just call Jim and see if he wants to direct this.
How long after, because it was after we both left Bubba, like I left before you. How long? This was like a year after.
A year later.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
We hadn't talked to him. Yeah.
And I invited him to get wings. And I was like, hi, I wrote this pilot and I don't know what to do with it. Can you help me? And so the two of us sort of just struck up this, both working relationship, but also friendship at the same time. And once we wrapped that production and we had to spend a lot of time together, both because Jim also edited the project. So we spent a lot of time in the editing suite working on it together. We toured a lot. So we went all over the country together and we were traveling, alone. So we got to know each other very well. And we both realized we loved working together and we wanted to make more stuff together. And when we were working on like kind of figuring out our next, show, it made sense for us to kind of lay the foundation of a company together, based on our skill sets individually. Kind of putting them together made sense. So that was sort of how it came to be. And then we were originally like, okay, well, we'll, keep this for our, stuff. And it would be like a thing for us to, keep bouncing ideas off of one another and like kind of be a production house for our own ideas. But then we sort of realized we had the skills and, necessary equipment to offer this to other creators as well. And that's kind of how we went from there.
So that was the first one. And then is this the second one or did you do more after?
This is actually, this is the third. So we have another pilot that's going to be coming out later this year called Brewtown that we shot also in 2019. So we're wrapping that up soon and getting that out on the road, hopefully soon. And I mean, we're ready to get back out in the field for sure. Like we are absolutely like, we have everything you would need to get going.
Yeah, you've written scripts. Do you have any more pilots or any scripts or anything?
I am still working on like a spec right now of an idea that I have, and that will hopefully get its legs soon. I just recently started a new job as a associate producer full time, so it's definitely been an outbalancing act of managing a company that you're independent, but also working for a network at the same time. Jim has kind of the same situation on his end as well. We both have network jobs, and then we also have our own company. So it's definitely a balancing act, but we're hoping to get back going soon.
Yeah, I feel the same way with teaching. I get sucked into teaching. That's all I do. And then
I know.
I haven't done any like on set in a long time. I actually got one thing in where I executive produced, but I've never written and directed in ages. And it's all about the kids now for me, but I'm like, I gotta do something.
Yeah, it's definitely nice, like flexing, like that muscle every day of like producing and like constantly, being in the world is great. But sometimes what's hard is that like when you have these passion projects, it's penciling in time for the passion projects as well as the like, full-time job. So I totally get trying to balance that out is hard, but it comes with time.
What about your acting?
Oh, what about that?
She's in Brewtown.
I am in Brewtown, but I did take kind of a step back. I really have enjoyed producing a lot, and I really enjoy kind of putting pieces together for people and sort of being kind of what I needed when I was starting. That has really spoke to me, of navigating a side of things that either A, isn't really appealing to people, or B, is, like they just need, someone else to bounce this off of, or need to figure out that side of things and need a guide to do so. And I've sort of taken that role more seriously right now, and I'm really enjoing it. So
and she's really good at it.
Tara, I am trying to get her. Well, once so she wants to take a step at more producing, but I am trying to, like, at times being like, oh, look at this script, maybe you should try to try this role, maybe.
Never say never. My dad's not over it. My dad is still very, like, not accepting that I'm like, Dad, I'm technically like a producer now, Dad, and he's just like, yeah, okay, for sure.
Well, my director for Under the Influence, Haley, and I have been writing a show, and Jim M and I, put together a Zoom reading of it. What was that, like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And we didn't know who we wanted to read the other female lead, and we were like, M. And she did a phenomenal job. And afterwards, Haley was like, so we should talk about this. Like, we are all, like, constantly trying to pull M out of retirement.
That was what I said. I did when I was
retired.
I was like, I've retired from musical theater for sure.
You never retire. You always come back. It always pulls you back in.
It does. It really does. And I've tried, like, even over the quarantine, my friends and I would do these scripts. It was my friend's idea to do a murder mystery, like, once every 4 months. And it turned into, Emily's going to write a horror script, and we're all going to sit around on Zoom. And Emily's never written a horror script before, and we're going to all have a good time. And it was like a campy horror script too. Like, it was supposed to be just, like, for fun. Yeah. And now the discussion is, well, we need to stage it, because you wrote 5 scripts, Emily, and I think we need to do something with this.
Sometimes you got to.
So somehow, I know, like, that's brewing over there, Camp Tire Swing, and I know it's brewing in some way with my group of friends, and they're just all like, so what are we gonna? And it was wild. And it was supposed to be just a murder mystery one time, and it turned into Camp Tire Swing Christmas, Camp Tire Swing 2.0, Camp Tire Swing 10 years down the line. Like, it got too much. I have all these scripts on my computer, and I was like, they're 50 pages long.
Wow.
I can't wait.
And that's a short feature almost.
Yeah, you can do a feature, like even like shorts and put them all together as a feature.
50 to 60 pages. All of them. So I wrote
horror films can be 50, 60 pages.
You can
make that a feature. You can do that.
There's a lot of horror film festivals.
Oh, there's so many. I was just gonna say. I'll tell you what. I love working in horror. I didn't for a long time, but I got sucked into horror, and I love it. I love going to horror film festivals. Are the best. They're the best.
Get ready, Em.
It was
so much fun.
I have been wanting to make a horror movie, Em. So and now that you have a script,
I'll send you Camp Tire Swing, and you tell me if you still gonna make it.
I did. I wrote something in high school, and I kept bugging the guys. I'm like, can we do this one day for free? We got and we finally did it. And I changed a little bit, but and then we ran out of time, so I just had to end it on the spot. Like, we had one day, and it turned out that Cursed Road, what I did, and it played everywhere, all over the country. And I went to so many festivals, all horror, and oh my God, it was so much fun.
I love that. A good story too. Like, the Blair Witch Project story blows my mind sometimes. And I'm like, wow, they really made it that way and did not expect it to go. And I'm like, that movie rocked me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got that genre, and then everyone's tried to copy them after.
Oh yeah. It was wild. I love it.
You've got to come up with a crazy, weird horror concept that no one has had yet, and then it'll blow. I
grew up close to M. Night Shyamalan. So, like, he used to film stuff. He filmed part of Signs in our town's cornfields. And I had many friends that were background actors in The Village. So it's definitely been around my life. For sure.
He's got a new one coming out called Old. It looks freaky as can be.
I don't think I can do it. I watched the trailer, and I was just like, this isn't going to work for me. I'm going to have to put this one out.
It looks really, really freaky. I was like, what the heck? It's a great, even if the movie's bad, the trailer was really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's definitely like pushing. He's seeing how far he can go. Like I look back at like The Sixth Sense and like I was like, ooh, that made me like, freaked out a little.
Yeah.
We would do like
I'll never forget
a
seeing that in the movie
marathon
theater.
and watch all those movies, and it was like you always felt like ooh, but now it's like oh, like
Yeah.
it's a whole new M Night that we're getting into.
I'll never forget going to the movie theater to see Sixth Sense. I was a young kid, and we're all in the theater. We didn't know what to expect. We had no idea. It was opening night, and then at the end, we all go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was like one of the first like what the F movies that man,
Oh
it
yeah.
was so good. That just blew up his career.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I saw Signs in theaters with my cousin. I think I was like 13 when it came out. And
Yeah.
there's literally a scene. It's really not that intense. I don't know if you remember. It was like it's Joaquin Phoenix like in a closet watching TV, and they're like, "Oh, we got footage of the alien," and it's literally just the alien just like walks across the screen. But like, I just remember I jumped like 6 feet out of my chair for that.
That is my Halloween costume. Joaquin Phoenix specifically with the hat. And so that's my Halloween costume this year. I've already.
Oh, perfect. My brother wanted to go see The Country Bears, the Disney film The Country Bears, and my dad said no, and instead took him to see Signs. He was 7. He was 7 years old, and he was like, "I came here to see The Country Bears, and I walked out of Signs." And he slept in my mom's room for like a month, and my mom was like ready to kill my father. She was like, "Are you kidding me?" And my dad was like, "I wanted to see Signs," and she's like, "He's 7."
Wow.
It was definitely a moment. For sure.
For a 7-year-old, that's spooky. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so you definitely have to do horror. That's got to
So
be.
that's the moral
Yes.
of the story. You have to produce Camp Tire Swing.
Camp Tire Swing. It is so out of control. Like we've gotten now to a point, but it's like we're it's chaos. But we'll get there. We'll see what happens with it.
So, do you have any other upcoming film festivals other than Brightside that this film's going to play in?
Yes, we have the Bridgeport Film Festival. It's their first annual out in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We're excited to go. What else is coming up?
I think it's about 20 overall.
Yeah, we have. That's all they're selected for right now. We have a bunch that are like playing in the fall that we're all. I think like in the next 2 months they're going to send out their notifications if we're in or not. So, but yeah, this is the kind of. Brightside is kind of like the end of like the summer festivals that we have, and then now we're just waiting for the fall to hear back.
Let me try. I'm getting a lot of. I'm gonna try to fix that here. The echo.
Sure.
Oh, it's not letting me right now.
So weird.
Yeah. It just came on again. That's weird. I never really had an issue. I think it's just the microphone. Echo cancellation won't let me do it.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe I got it.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. It hadn't happened all day. I've been interviewing all day, so it's some kind of maybe it's outside in the rain and we'll see. But I'll have to chop those parts out. I usually don't edit my shows on Cullen on Film. I just go and do whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll cut those. But yeah, so so you say you're playing in a bunch of different festivals. That's great. That's awesome. So.
Yeah. You know, a lot of festivals, because people knew that in person was going to be an option. You know, especially if they push them back till the fall. That's when so many are taking place. That at least that we submitted to, which is great. But I work on Broadway and have not had a job for the last 18 months. And of course, our shows are all now returning in the fall.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. So that's why I'm really lucky that we sort of have a whole team surrounding this, because Jim and Em are like, we'll be there if we can. And there will be some semblance of representation at all of these festivals.
Yeah, they're good. They're good about going to festivals. I know.
Oh,
that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We had a good time we had a good time, honestly, on the Hang On to Your Shorts live stream. I had a very good time.
It was fun. Yeah, we did.
I forgot that was the first one. So we did it again, but I left. Hang On to Your Shorts.
Yeah.
But because I didn't really do anything, they did it again. I was like, no, let's take a year off, and they did it anyway. And I was like, I don't want to do it. So I was there for the award show for a little bit, and that was it. But but I kind of left. I have too much going on, so.
Understand.
Sure.
But I started that.
You did.
Yeah.
And when I heard you left, I was like, no.
Yeah, it was
Like,
too
that's
much,
our
and they got a
property.
lot of people working it now and
Yeah.
doing things.
Well, at
and
least we know where to find you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm still around. I got my podcasting going on. I got other festivals, so
Yeah.
you know, you just
Good
keep on
time.
going. So, but I got a lot of students going to colleges now, and I've been in this program for 5. This is going to be my 5th year coming up. So,
Wow.
I really pushing the student films, and I go to all these fests with my student films. So that's kind of the thing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's so great.
I love doing that. So that was
Yeah.
And it's great that you also do a student block too. Like I think that is really really special that you do a really well publicized, very enthusiastic student film campaign spot. Like I think it's it's so great, and I hope that more festivals do that. And I mean, I know they do a lot of student categories, but also like really amp them up too, because I think that really is inspiring for a lot
we
of
have a full day. Brightside Saturday is all college and high school
which is
films,
awesome.
and there's a lot of them. Sometimes we don't get as many, but this time we got a lot. So we got a lot of high school and college. So we have do that, and then have their own awards, and then that's their day, and then we'll have a full day of our own stuff. So
That's great.
See what they're doing and seeing also kind of what young talent is out there and connect with them too, because they're coming up, so we obviously want to know who they are and hopefully work with them in the future too. So that's
my students got into last year, even though they couldn't go because of COVID, so it was online. Was they got into Dances with Films, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I don't even get into that. So we had 2 films of that, and it was huge. It was big, and now we're waiting. We're going to hopefully get another one in. We'll find out any day now. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's always fun. But no, they did good, and the programs it kind of blew up. So I'm excited for that. So that's my life, my time is there. But now I'm on vacation. I'm off, so I can do whatever the hell I want right now.
Yeah.
That's always the good part. And so what else you guys got going on now at this point? Do you have are you writing? Are you filming soon? Are you directing, editing? What's going on?
We were in talks to produce like a sort of shorter version of the next pilot that I have been writing with my friend Haley. And it's just like timing has not been on our side in that regard. Because Haley also works in television and film doing hair. And so she is working, and we love that.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes it hard, to put up the work. So we've sort of got a pin in that. But that's, I mean, on as far as the 3 of us go, really the only thing we've sort of talked about. I don't know about you guys with Viridian Coast.
We are going to get Brewtown out this summer, which is very exciting for us.
Brewtown as in beer?
Yes. Yes.
So
we got in Point Pleasant, and we had so much fun.
Wow.
And this has been a labor of love for both of us. We've shot the pilot twice and have had such a, it's been a wild road for us. So I just cannot wait for it to finally be, locked and loaded and ready to go. And that's big for us coming up. And then the 2 of us are still, hanging out with our respective television shows full time, but we're, ready to get back, doing stuff on weekends and producing freelance too.
Are they filming now, or is it end of season break, or
We're
starting up?
I work for a show on TLC, and we are filming through October right now. And then it's kind of a rolling show, so we may be picking back up again mid-October too. And then Jim, you're on break?
Yesterday was my last day before we're taking a 7-month break from my show. Yeah, that we're gonna come back at the end of August. So I'm on summer vacation right now.
Nice.
So I am kind of trying to think, because the problem with the pandemic is we're a production company, so it's like we can't go out and produce anything. Because I think we were trying to do a couple more scenes for Brewtown. That when did we try? I think last November we were like, the cases are going down, and then all of a sudden it just went boop. I'm like, well.
Yeah, Bridgeport was originally a web series that we were going to do, but I was under the condition for me, I wanted it to be able to be a pilot if necessary. So the way we shot it was that these 2 episodes can stand alone, but if you put them together, they could form a cohesive pilot that makes sense. And so when we shot it, it was like we were under the impression we were going to do 4 episodes, because typically for web series, that's the requirement for festivals, 3 or 4 episodes.
Wow.
And we wanted to tour it. And so when we did the first 2 episodes, we were going to go back into the last 2, and then the pandemic happened. And so these 2 just happened to, as we hoped, work to be a pilot. So now it's going to go out as a pilot for now. I mean, we'd love to shoot more down the way, but we also want to see kind of reaction and see how people like it, and hopefully make more from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
I've been just Brewtown, and then I have a couple music videos that my boyfriend is coming out with a couple singles that I direct the music videos for. I'm editing those right now, and those are going to be coming out. And then I just finished up on my show full time. So once we get back in August, it's going to be hitting the ground running, making more TV.
Nice. So you have a nice month of July off, huh? Hopefully,
lucky duck.
Yeah. So spending 18 months working from home, so I can spend a summer probably staying at home again in the air conditioning. That's what I'm doing. So, and hopefully see if I can try to travel a little bit. So things are opening up back up, which would be nice.
Are. Yeah, I'm excited to go away to. I actually went to Pensacola about a month and a half ago. We went down there for the weekend.
Nice.
Nice.
It was a con. It was the first con back, and it was funny because it started out all social distancing, and then during that, like the next day was when like they opened everything up. So like everyone was there on Friday with all their masks on, and then Saturday nobody had them on. It was like, what's going on? And everyone was fine.
It's so surreal.
It was like, just like that. Yeah. It just like poof, went
That's
away.
what it's been like in New York. Like I came back, I moved back in May, and like it was sort of a crapshoot whether or not you could take your mask off when you went outside, like that was a big deal. And then like one day it was almost like no one wore their masks anymore. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay. Are we doing this? Are we like, I feel like I'm like, should I put it on? Should I take it off? I still don't know. Yeah. But it's just like one of those things.
You can't figure it out now. But.
No.
It was like because the governor was like, oh, we're good. You know what we're asking? And it was just like a tweet, and we're like, is that official?
Is it really? Yeah.
Is it?
There was like a fireworks celebration. He was like, we're going to have fireworks because it's over. And we were like, it's not over.
It's not over.
It was like, it happened so quickly. And then like the same day, they announced a Foo Fighters concert at MSG. Yes. And I was like, well, I have no choice but
to go.
Yeah. So
I texted Jim and was like, well.
So to put this in the reference, M is a
huge,
ginormous,
huge.
What do you call
it?
Is it a Foo head? So, and I met, she's seen them 5 times. She took me to my first Foo Fighters concert a couple of years ago.
Did you see them in Asbury Park when they were on the beach years ago? I was in the front row at the beach because I was there all day, and he jumped down and off the stage right in front of me.
I would die.
That's awesome.
In the sand. It was pretty cool. And then they helicoptered out to SNL because they did SNL that night.
So I was an intern at SNL that season. So I remember that. I remember because they played the season finale, and they said they were supposed to do like a skit, but they couldn't.
Mick Jagger, right? It was Mick Jagger.
It was Mick Jagger. And they said they were supposed to be in a skit, but they couldn't make rehearsal because they were doing a concert somewhere. But they're going to fly him back in a helicopter. So it was that concert. Yeah. And then that's funny. And then at the after, they played the after party, and it was at like where the ice skating rink at Rockefeller Center is. So it was just down there, and it was just all the cast and crew, and then like just random people. And they played a concert for 2 hours, and they brought up Mick Jagger sang with them. A bunch of the cast members may have sang with them. It was wild.
The envy is real. The envy is real.
They're the best. They really. I want to like. I was so close to him there, but I'm like, I would if all like singers, I'd love to sit down and just talk to Dave Grohl,
Well, he's become a documentarian. Like he documentarian. Like he really is doing a lot of doc work right now. Yeah. And the stuff he's doing is, I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but it's really good.
No, it's really good. I've watched his docs, and they're really
so well made, and he's so involved in them that I'm like, wow, you really just can do anything.
When I was in college, my roommate, well, not my roommate, but the guy across the hall, his sister was dating David Grohl, and I think they got married. They got married, and we're like, oh yeah, the former drummer of, because Nirvana just ended because he died. So they're like, oh, and he didn't know what to do at that time. He was like, I want to either start my own band, or Tom Petty asked him to be his drummer.
Mhm.
So I remember we all gathered. He goes, oh, my sister's husband, Dave Grohl's playing on SNL tonight as the drummer for Tom Petty. So we all gathered and watched it, and then he decided not to stay with Tom Petty and start the Foo Fighters right there.
Wow.
So that was a crazy story. And then he ended up divorcing that woman. But he said like one album from his divorce and all that was based on that first marriage and that girl. So it's a very small world.
Dang. What is a small world? That's nuts.
But that concert with Jim was my first, entry back into the public world. I was like, what, what better way?
It was a very last minute announcement too. They announced it like 9 a.m. that the tickets go on sale in an hour. So I'm getting ready for work. My phone's ringing. It's M. Or she sent me a text. She goes, Jim, sends me a link. We're doing this. Are you in?
When is it?
And then it was the Foo Fighters at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. So it was literally like, they were like full reopening. Tickets go on sale in an hour.
Yeah.
And it was me, M, and one of her wonderful roommates and our friend. We're all just on Ticketmaster, just waiting for the countdown, and we just reload, and like, I got lucky and just got in and got tickets right away, and yeah.
So when's the show? Next year, 2022?
It happened.
Oh, it happened.
Oh, it happened already?
Yeah, they went like what was it like
two Sundays ago?
What?
They put They were like, it's in 10 days.
What?
And we were like, oh my god! And it was the same way. They were like, everything's lifted in the city. And they're like, and by the way, open Madison Square Garden, it's going to be a Foo Fighters concert. And I was just like, well, I guess we're going back to the Garden, Jim. I guess we're going.
Yeah, it was Asbury here. They're doing all concerts now this summer. Like they weren't gonna. They're doing concerts. So
I went to a baseball game the other day. It was amazing.
Really?
It was awesome. It felt so good.
That was good.
I was like, I'm not even paying attention. I just want to be here. I just want to sit in this chair.
Yeah, right. That's how I feel too. But I got vaxxed to end February, so I was early.
Oh wow!
And I was like, let's go.
Teacher. Yeah. Did the Stone Pony announce their lineup? Because usually they get like good people. Like I'm kind of like,
they have some shows. I don't know if it's the full lineup, but I saw some advertised shows. I know Flogging Molly's coming at the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah. So. With
they were
the Violent Femmes I saw when I was in college in a bar, and I like them.
That's awesome.
So Violent Femmes and Flogging Molly. I'm like, I'm there. I'm so there.
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys is touring with Rancid, which is still blowing my mind.
Oh,
and they're coming too.
Around?
Are they? Wait, Rancid or Dropkick?
Dropkick
and Rancid together.
I think together.
Together.
Yeah, they're together, and I think they're playing Stone Pony Summer Stage, I believe.
Really?
Jim's face.
Yeah,
that
so
was
good.
a wild night in Philadelphia for me. I will say that. I had no business at 17 years old being at a Dropkick Murphys concert in downtown Philadelphia. I was, but I had no business whatsoever. I'm shocked my parents let me. It was a Christmas gift, and it was just.
I always miss them. They're always around here, and I always miss them. And I've never seen them in concert, and I'd love to see that show.
I'm lucky I made it out alive because it was like nothing I had ever experienced before.
Oh no,
it was great. Yeah. It was a great show, but I was like, at many points, I was like, well, this could be it.
Were you in the pit?
There is no other option, Jim. Jim,
yeah, I can't do that anymore. I'm getting old.
The Electric Factory in Philadelphia, which is just a pit next to the highway, and you have to do, as like a Pennsylvanian, you have to do at least one show in your life at the Electric Factory, and you have to say, I went and I did it, and it was great.
I'm so old now, though. I have to sit down, like I go to the art center in the lawn chair and sit the whole time, and I'm at that age now. Like I don't want to go up front.
I always like the lawn, though.
I like the lawn.
I like to relax though. Like I watched Bush and Live play, and I'm like just relaxed. I didn't get up. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is different. And I've never done that before. I'm usually like, right there in front. And I guess I reached that age now. I'm like, I'm cool with being back here and listening.
I will honestly I'll take a seated spot most times over a pit spot because I like the option of I can see it and I don't have to like be thinking about anybody else or anything. I can just be like in my space and like.
Except you yelled at me at the Foo Fighters concert a couple of times because it was Madison Square Garden, so it's all seats, but I was like, it was like a 3-hour concert. So of course I'm like, I can't stand for 3 hours. So I'm like, I'm sitting, and like everybody else is sitting, and like I start standing, and I sit, and she goes, "Are you okay? What are you doing?"
I'm worried.
And I'm like, I'm just taking a break. It's a marathon. She goes, "I'm standing." Woo! And just kept going.
It was a good time.
Yeah, concerts are great. It's awesome that they're starting to come around again.
It is good.
I remember now I'm this old that Candlebox. I saw Candlebox in Manhattan before all this, and I stood in the front, right in front of the singer, and I'm like slapping him 5, and I'm like, I'm so old and I'm doing this. And then they're singing the songs from the '90s that I loved, and I was like, oh my god. I'm old.
It's a good time.
There's no original people except for the singer, so there's still Candlebox, but everyone's different. I was like, why is the guitarist like 30? Should be like 50.
Oh.
But that happens a lot in these old bands.
Yeah. Right.
But so anyway, so we got everything coming back and around. We're gonna have a good time on the bright side. So hopefully you guys can make it.
We're so excited.
Oh, we'll be there.
Cool.
You're ready.
Hey, we're so stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's great. And so after that, after Brightside, and you said the next one is Connecticut?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Connecticut, I think, is before.
It's the weekend
before.
It is.
Yeah.
The weekend before.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Weekend before.
Yeah. So we have that. We have like a bookended situation. One weekend is Bridgeport, and the next weekend is Brightside.
This is
Very exciting.
Favorite part is good traveling.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love going all over. And just like, and I was telling Tara at the beginning of all this too, that like you're going all over and you meet some of the most amazing people that are, and it's just basically spending a weekend around people that love doing the same thing you do. So like how bad, of a time are you going to have really? Like it's
Absolutely.
So fun. And we've met some really, great people in the most unexpected places. And then like, you kind of get that like, oh, people really love what you're doing. And it's a great feeling. So I am so excited to be back out there because it's the best.
And that was again a huge reason why we held off on submitting virtually, because it's not that you can't meet people virtually, but like that feeling that you were describing, that was what we planned for our 2020 to be. We were like, great, 2020 is just going to be this year of like traveling and touring and sharing our work. And then there was a plot twist, but but that's why we sort of wanted to hold off, because we love the idea of like in-person networking and meeting these people who love, doing the same thing you do. It's so important.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Going.
I can't wait for it myself. And I do love like being there at the bright side, like in person. The last time, just with a few people, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally, we're back. This is great seeing people in front of us. And Jim, you might see people that you haven't seen in years that might be coming.
Oh yeah, because there's usually kind of like there's always usually a few faces who are like on like the Hang On Your Shorts and Brightside Festival. I'm like, oh, there's Jeff. Oh, like there's so you really see over the years.
I know, right? It's been so long. And like I was looking at some old photos from the first season way back then, not too long ago. So it was, it was pretty funny to see that in the at the pizza place at Porta.
Oh man,
yes, Porta.
Yeah, I missed that. And then we used to go to the Brick Wall, and that's gone now. They have like it's a new place now. It's totally different. So I don't even know. I don't think they have like the combo with them anymore. I don't know what's going on. But I'm excited to bring back the bright side and have you guys there. And,
we can't wait. We're excited.
Jersey film festivals are a blast.
And thank you for all the nominations as well.
You guys got nominations. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're so excited.
So excited. That's so cool.
That's always fun. No, it was a good film, put all around together, everything with acting and filmmaking and all aspects of it. So that's always good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So. Well, thanks for joining me on the show today. You guys,
thanks for having us.
Anything you want to promote, if you want to go around and you want to start, Jim, and go around and promote anything, let everybody know where they can see some of your social medias or movies or films or your past film. I'm sure people will be like, shit, I want to see that movie again.
Yes.
From the long time ago.
Yes.
The Last Couple.
So that short is, I think it's on Vimeo. It's my thesis film that was the very first Hang On to Your Shorts, and the first Bright Side is The Exploration of Coal, as led by the prepubescent Sandy.
Imagine seeing. I haven't seen that in years, and I should go watch it now and probably crack up.
So good.
Right.
It's so great. And my favorite thing about that is I didn't intentionally make it because some people are uncomfortable saying prepubescent, and I've been at film festivals where they're announcing it, and the person announcing it is just like squirming. He's always like squirming, and that was actually kind of amusing.
Was it easier back then than today to say something like that?
I don't know.
Who's to say?
And then our second film that Em and I made, Capital Advice, is on YouTube. You can look that up. And then, Under the Influence, check it out. If you come to a festival, come to Brightside to watch it.
Yeah,
the comedy
because we can't put it up online anymore now that we're in the film festival circuit.
Absolutely. Yeah, the comedy set. I forget what time it's going to be, but it's going to be on August 1st.
Yes. August 1st.
Can't wait.
And if you want to keep up with where everything's going, Viridian Co Studios on Instagram at Viridian Co Studios and at undertheinfluence.tv. We're going to have all of our, festival related things as well as behind the scenes and what we're up to throughout the summer and fall. So definitely give us a follow there too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Tara, what about you? Any promotions or social medias or anything?
I mean, if you'd like to follow me, I'm sort of funny, and I post pictures of my cat. So you can follow me at Tara Lew, LLEW, on Instagram for all of those really exciting things I just explained.
And
I'm
Tara,
talking about Under the Influence, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tara, what show are you working on Broadway?
Oh, I'm working on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh.
And it's really, really, really good. We were in our third preview when the world ended. But now that the world is coming back, we'll be in our first preview October 21st. You can follow us at Doubtfire Bway, BWAY, I think, or Doubtfire Broadway. I'm really bad at this. I shouldn't have promoted this. But it's really
you'll find Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway. Definitely.
Yeah, it's so good. It's got so much heart, and it's led by a really wonderful man named Rob McClure, who fills the shoes of Robin Williams in such a way that you would not really expect anybody to be able to. And he does it in his own very unique way. And it's so good. And the whole company of actors and the crew and everybody who comes together to put the show up, they're just all wonderful. So I can't wait to get back to it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Thanks.
Great.
And what about you, Em?
I am on Pillow Talk on TLC, working with the 90 Day Fiancé crew.
My mom watches that. So.
Yes, well, I am on Pillow Talk. So our new season will be, I believe, coming out August 28th. And I am an associate producer over there. So check it out if you are a 90 Day fan and you want to, watch your favorite couples talk about the show. And it's a really fun show. Great people. Absolutely love it. Had a blast.
Awesome. Well, thanks for all of you to join me today and another episode of Cullen on Film, which I'll put up in a little bit. It's not live, people. Usually it's live, so
that's okay.
Usually we're on.
Sure. We were debating privately. We were like, "Is this live? Is it not live?" But that's okay.
Because I do all these recordings. I'm like, let's do a Cullen on Film. I'm gonna put it together, put the little beginning. You'll have a little intro, so I'll put it up there on the Cullen on Film page, and also on Brightside and all that. And because I haven't done one in a while, I'm like, I got to do it with you guys. So let's do it. And,
we're
really an hour long.
Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here.
So fun.
Awesome. And I got to promote before I forget that I'm going to Comic Palooza on July 17th, 2:30. It is the podcast with me, Ming Chen, my cousin Steve, if you know cousin Steve, and he's going to be joining us, as well as Mike Veza, and we're going to be doing I Assure You We're Open, which is a Kevin Smith podcast, which is also called Quick Stop Stories, and it's about how we got influenced by Kevin Smith.
Awesome.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Pretty cool. So the people in the audience, if they got influenced by him, but I have stories because I interned with him many years ago, and Ming got hired many years ago doing his website. So we got a lot of stories to tell, and it's going to be at the Comic-Con, Comic Palooza. So we're all excited about that.
Love. That's
Great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So that's it. Thanks for joining me. And
Thank you.
Well, I'll see you guys real soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see you soon.
All right.
See ya.